Well, good morning, everyone. It's a wonderful Friday morning. I hope you get ready and enjoy the weekend. And we are going to talk about the glory of God and our failure to give God the glory and how that equals wickedness, evil, sin. But before that, the news. If you live in the city of Goodhue, Minnesota, I'll bring this over so I can take a look at it. You don't have a police department anymore. The city of Goodhue, it's good, like you're a good boy when you say that to your dog, right? And Who, Hue, Minnesota, held an emergency meeting Monday night after their entire police department announced its resignation. And that's according to Fox News 9. Police Chief Josh Smith originally alerted the city council of a need for change on July the 26th, saying that the police department needed more competitive pay if it was to continue operating. Smith and six other officers handed in their resignation letters last week, leaving Goodhue entirely without a police force starting August the 24th. We've got zero applicants and I have zero prospects. I've called every PD around looking for the youngest guys out there getting into the game. There's nobody getting into the game, Smith said in July, according to Fox 9. Officers currently receive $22 an hour. Folks, that is pitiful. That is pitiful pay for going out and risking your life every day to protect citizens from criminals. That's pitiful. Officers currently receive $22 an hour, which Smith claims is far less than even smaller departments receive in other locations, according to the Star Tribune. Although the city offered officers a 5% raise earlier this year and gave the police chief a $13,000 bonus, the officers received minimal pay compared to precincts of the same size. I thought just came to mind. I'll give it to you in a moment. The harsh reality is, I don't want to be the guy working 80 hours a week just running this PD, being on call 24 hours a day, which I already am, and leaving no time for my family, Smith said on July 26, according to the Star Tribune. When called at their non-emergency number, the Hugh City Police Department line goes directly to a pre-recorded statement that instructs the caller to leave a message or call the Goodhue County Police Department instead for immediate assistance. Uh, I thought that would be the county sheriff, not a county police department. Anyway, typically that's what happens when a police department like that dissolves. The sheriff comes in. Maybe we'll assign a deputy to that particular location. Goodhue Mayor Ellen Anderson Buck and City Council member Chris Smith intend to meet with Goodhue County Sheriff Marty Kelly on Wednesday, according to Croc News. Goodhue currently plans to rely on the county's police officers. Okay, whoever wrote this article knows nothing about law enforcement. They're not county police officers, they're county deputies, to replace their city officers after August 23rd. Anderson, Smith, and Schmidt did not immediately respond to the request for the comment, and Kelly declined to comment, so forth, so on. So, this is what happens when you don't pay your officers and you're not competitive. Even police departments have that sense of competition going on where they're competing in pay, benefits, and all of that to get good officers to come in and work for them. So it happens in business, it happens in government as well. So competition is a reality in this life. Get used to it. All right. So Newt Gingrich had a statement and this is in the Gateway Pundit. I am told someone from D.C. called Fannie Willis on Friday and demanded she indict Trump on Monday to cover up Weiss. It's Weiss, his mess up. So, excuse me, here's the article. Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich told Charlie Kirk. A reliable source told him Fulton County DA Fannie Willis got a phone call from D.C. on Friday demanding she indict Trump on Monday to cover up for the Weiss-Hunter Biden screw-up. Marxist Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis hit President Trump and 18 others with RICO and conspiracy charges for daring to challenge the 2020 election. A Fulton County grand jury on Monday returned a 41 count indictment, which included RICO and conspiracy charges against Trump. We all know this. The grand jury was supposed to meet to listen to witness testimony on Tuesday. However, 10 witnesses testified on Monday, and the grand jury returned a 41 count indictment that evening. So they rushed it because they want your attention on what's happening with Trump and not in how they're messing up. We'll put it that way. All right. That's according to the article. Let's see. All right. There is a senator. Sorry, folks, for my throat. There is a senator in Georgia named Colton Moore, and he has this to say. As a Georgia state senator, I am officially calling for an emergency session to review the actions of Fannie Willis. America is under attack. I'm not going to sit back and watch as radical left prosecutors politically target political opponents. This is the letter written to Governor Brian P. Kemp, Office of the Governor. Dear Governor Kemp, we, the undersigned, being duly elected members of the Georgia House of Representatives and Georgia Senate, and comprising 3/5 of each respective house, pursuant to Article 4, Section 2, Paragraph 7b, hereby certify to you in writing with a copy to the Secretary of State that in our opinion an emergency exists in the affairs of the state, requiring a special session to be convened under that section for all purposes to include, without limitation, the review and response to the actions of Fannie Willis. Sincerely, Colton Moore, State Senator, Georgia Senate District 53. So, those who are going after Trump are now being gone after. The hunters have become hunted. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. All right. Citizens Free Press. Excuse me. I don't know why my throat decided to do that all of a sudden. I just have to deal with the old age, folks. That's just life. All right. James O'Keefe teases new drop on Fulton County. And of course, he comes up with interesting stuff. So this is out of X, formerly Twitter. Our OMG journalist describes his undercover reporting that reveals possible illegal voter registration in Fulton County, Georgia. Georgia state law makes it a crime to put false information on a voting registration for any primary or general election. So basically, they've got to get Trump and others out of the way before they can come after us. And so this is just corruption in government. That's all it is. And so that'll be enough on that. Let's get into our study real quick. I've already wasted enough time on the news. And we're going to talk about how some of this stuff is why it's wickedness, why things are wickedness and evil that we don't think about. Romans chapter 3, it's a passage familiar to many of you, or some of you, depending on who you are. And I'll begin with verse 9. What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise, for we have before proved before Jews and Gentiles that they are all under sin. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understand. There is none that seek after God. They are all gone out of the way. They are altogether become unprofitable. There is none that do good, no, not one. So they've fallen short of the glory of God. And any falling short of the glory of God is sin. It's evil. So it says, their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known. There's no fear of God before their eyes. And the Bible also says that whatever is not of faith is sin. And whatever does not bring glory to God is sin. And so, taking that into consideration, let's take a look at what might be sinful in our society. I want to begin with education, because education is so important. It affects the minds and the hearts of the next generation. And any time that education teaches anything, it does not give God the glory for it, it is sinful, it is evil, it is wickedness. Think about that. If you teach math and you don't recognize that math is a result of the coherent, logical mind of God, then you're committing wickedness. To associate math with human achievement without giving God the glory, that is evil. It's wickedness. It's sinful. The same of any other subject that's taught in school. History, sociology, English language, any other language, Greek, Latin, right? French, Spanish, German, you can go down the list. If you're not giving God the glory for those languages and God the credit for those languages, it's sinful, it's evil, it's wickedness. You know, any subject that is taught in school that gives man the glory and does not give God the glory, that school and that teacher is committing a crime against God and is performing evil and wickedness and iniquity. People don't think of it that way, do they? We just get up, put them on the yellow bus, send them off to school, the public school, thinking that we're doing the right thing and giving them an education. What you're doing is you're sending them to someone who is going to, the dog is barking, who is going to teach them, there he goes, who is going to teach them to give man the glory and not God. He's going to teach them to dishonor God by not giving God the glory. That's wickedness. That's evil. on the part of the parent, and on the part of the teacher, and on part of the school system, and on part of the government that runs the schools. And that's just one example. Anytime business does anything and does not give God the glory, it's wickedness and it's evil and it's iniquity. And so you can go down to any entity, government, business, uh, any kind of career choice. When we don't give God the glory, it's evil. When we don't give God the glory for the blessings that we have in our family, it's wickedness and it's evil and it's iniquity. Giving God the glory is the key. Whatever is not done of faith is sin, the scripture tells us. So giving God the glory is exercising faith. And so it's important that we do so. So what was I doing when I rejected public school and I said my children will not go to that institution to be educated? I want them educated in a school that will give God the glory. Well, I was obeying and honoring God. I was obeying and honoring my Lord. And I was refusing to believe anything that the world was telling me concerning that matter, that subject matter. So I rejected the world's ideology, the world's philosophy, and I honored God in doing that. Now, I'm not giving myself credit on that. I'm giving God the glory for that because God put that in my heart, in my mind, to do that. When you, as a parent, homeschool your kids and give God the glory, then God gets the glory for that as well. And you're doing the right thing. When you send them to a Christian school, and you do so for the purpose of giving God the glory, and you're doing it for the benefit of your kids, then you're doing the right thing. When you pull them out of the public education system, and you say, from now on, I'm going to give God the glory in the education of my children, you're doing the right thing. And so we need to consider in anything that we do in life, does this glorify God? Because that should be the highest priority in the life of a Christian, is to bring God the glory that he deserves. Because he is almighty. He is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, immutable. He is full of grace and mercy and truth. He is holy and righteous, therefore full of holy and righteous judgment against evil. And he deserves and should receive all glory when it comes to anything that happens and occurs within the universe that he created. And he is the creator. And when we give the credit of existence of this universe and this world to something other than God, then we are performing evil. We're performing wickedness and iniquity and sin. God gets the glory. Psalm 19 says that the heavens declare the glory of God, and surely they do. And that is what we should do as well. Declare the glory of God in all that we do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.